Yesterday, President Donald Trump released the state of his health in a press conference to the White House. Many questions were circling around the president's state of health, mental capabilities, and questions still arise today. Also, the president's still in trouble over the comments made about Haiti, Africa, and other nations, using the S word, much to the chagrin of many on Washington's Capitol Hill. Joining us now in studio, our political analyst, Lee Bynes, who brings us the latest coming out of Washington, D.C. And of course, Lee, good to have you back.
Good to be back.
So let's talk about this and break this down. I mean, everybody on TV yesterday, and even us right now, are breaking down the state of President Trump's press conference. Now, we'll say the White House, releasing this information about the president's health. Unprecedented, given the fact that we've never seen a doctor really come and have to give the full state of a president's health. What does that mean about the state of our country?
Well, you know what, they gave him an excellent rating, you know, supposedly no matter, you know, irregardless of the fact that he's overeating, he's eating really, really poor foods when he does. The fact that he has a lousy exercise regimen. You know, he's 6'3" or so they say, 240 some odd pounds. This is not what a doctor would call a person in good health. He's on taking medications for, I believe, high cholesterol. Whether or not the guy is going to, you know, drop dead today or tomorrow, it may not happen. But the way the man is living his life doesn't necessarily bode well for a healthy lifestyle.
But I guess the bottom line is, when you really look at the whole thing, this is what an average American has. You know, you have your health. You got some things that are good, some things that are bad. I know people were looking about the mental capabilities of the president, but overall, something I think many people didn't even want to really hear.
Well, you know what? The president has a way of making sure that he gets his message out no matter what. And if there's any negatives, he generally finds a way to counter them with over-the-top reviews of whatever is going on, either in his personal life, his medical life, or his political life. So it was important for him, just like last week when he had to come out and give a big press conference. He gave access to the press for over 55 minutes so that he could show the world that, yes, I am sane. Yes, I am a great negotiator. And then, you know, several days later, we found out that he wasn't as stable as he had made out to be, considering the fact that he found himself in an S-hole over this S-hole issue. And that's not going away. And a lot of these things that he's putting out there in front of the public is just generally just to deflect from what other issues that are going on, specifically the Mueller investigation.
And let's talk about this. We know Steve Bannon has been summoned by Robert Mueller's the investigation into Robert Mueller. But I want to go a little bit further about these comments, because we're still talking about them today. Senator Cory Booker out of New Jersey, very, you know, very much.
Oh, yeah, he laid into the director of Homeland Security yesterday and let her know that she was actually complicit in Donald Trump's activities by going along with the rest of the folks in the room, indicating that, no, we never heard him say anything like that. And, you know, when the president speaks, most people are listening. When the president is using language of that type, most people get it. So I think that issue is going to affect the DACA negotiations. It's going to affect the comprehensive negotiations that need to go on with regards to immigration. And because of those issues, that could actually shut down the government, and both Republicans and Democrats, neither one of them want that to happen. It actually could happen because the Democrats are doubling down. They're saying, look, this is what we want. We want to save the DACA people no matter what. The Republicans are saying we want money for the wall. So in my estimation, this comes down to a battle of the bases. Trump and the GOP is gambling that there's enough energy on their side to be able to say that if the government shuts down, it'll be because of the Democrats. The Democrats, on the other hand, has a strong argument because they have to face their constituents. Their constituents do not want to spend one nickel on the wall. They promised their constituents that, and they're sticking to it. So if the Democrats, the stronger hand that the Democrats have to play is because of the fact that the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. So if something fails, if something doesn't get done, if the The government shuts down on the 20th, which just happens to be the anniversary of Donald Trump being inaugurated. It's going to be pretty much bad news for them, because if any negotiating needs to be done, because they are in control, if anybody's going to come over to this side, they're going to have to be the ones to move to the left, not the left moving to the right.
So when we talk about the relationship and the state of the health of America, given the fact we talked about the president's health, let's talk about the health of our country in the eyes of other people. How is this, with this latest comment that's come out of Washington, D.C. from the president, how are we being viewed internationally in terms of international relations? Because you have some people who say that, you know, President Trump gets away with saying this because America is a free country and the ramifications will be few for America. But on the other side, you've got people on the other side of the world who are saying America's going to pay a heavy price for the comments that are being made.
Well, right now, many of the African nations that felt insulted by these remarks, as well as Haiti, has called in ambassadors to their countries, and they're forcing them to give an explanation. You know, despite all of the S-hole, S-house, whatever word was used to describe Haiti and African nations, those countries work very, very closely with the United States. They're not as beat up and torn down as they've been made out to be. Secondly, they, without the United States having good relations with them in terms of security, fighting terrorism, putting down groups like Boko Haram and the rest, Al-Qaeda networks that have been working viciously in Northern Africa, this is no time to cause a major brouhaha with them. Not only that, from my perspective, Donald Trump, in the way that he's been conducting himself, is really damaging America's brand. I mean, when you look at the Statue of Liberty, bring us you're weak, you're tired, and helpless, et cetera, those words were, and I wrote about this passionately, quite frankly, this week, is that those words set the tone for who America is and what we stand for. And right now, the way the country looks, it looks a lot harder. It looks selfish. It's like it's taken an elitist position, and that's not gonna sell globally. That particular brand that America is out there. If there's a tragedy, if there's a natural disaster, the United States was always there first to bring aid and resources and drag people out of those situations. The United States was the beacon on the hill, the shining light where people look and said, hey, there's a place that you want to go to escape tyranny. There's a place you want to escape terrorism and bombs and famine and drought and whatever that would be driving people across the border. That this was the safe haven for people in situations like that. Now the welcome mat, as far as the United States is concerned, or as far as the world is concerned, about the United States and how they feel about it, is that the welcome mat has been picked up. It's all about us now. America first, America second, America last.
North Korea and South Korea announced they will be uniting together under one flag for the first time. How big is that, and what does that mean for the U.S.?
Actually, to be honest with you, that is huge, simply because of the that this negotiation took place between North and South Korea. The United States had no part in that. As I was speaking to some of the folks offline over there, is that Moon Jae-in did the right thing. He actually bestowed the compliments that said that, you know what, we wouldn't even be having these talks if the United States didn't push the envelope. That wasn't true at all. The two of those countries got together because they wanted to tone down the rhetoric. They wanted to de-escalate, not nuclearize the region, but de-escalate the tensions and create a safe space so when the Olympics took place, it would be peaceful. So through these negotiations, they were able to get everything they want from the perspective of the North Koreans. They didn't have to give up a thing. They're going to be coming to the Olympics. They're going to be operating under one flag. They've forced the United States to deter or put off having any more of those military operations, which was at the crux of why the North Koreans wanted their nuclear option in the first place. And not only that, the North Koreans have already also stated that taking their nuclear weapons and putting them on the table for negotiation was a no-go from the beginning, but not only that, they were in the process of mass producing them. So they have caused quite a bit of stir. The United States has got nothing for it. They're on the sidelines. They are no longer part of the negotiations. And moving forward, we could see that there could be a unification between the two, at least on the surface. And that's what the South wants. They want to unify, or at least make their relationship with the North a little more congenial, so they don't have these moments where people are triggering bomb alerts and scaring the hell out of people because they don't know what's happening from day to day.
Before we get out of here,
Certainly.
only got a couple minutes left. I want to ask you a question about Steve Bannon. He testifying before Mueller under a subpoena. What can we look for? What can we expect going forward? This was kind of like under the radar here.
Well, I would say
we expected it, but it was under the radar.
I would think that you could look forward to some fireworks eventually, because when he went before the House initially, he refused to answer a lot of questions. Apparently, the White House had given him, look, don't say nothing with regards to the Russia investigation. That's the reason. That's what triggered the subpoena, because now Mueller wants to talk to this guy. The book, the statements that he made in Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury, was extremely inflammatory. He actually called the president out as being a treasonous event. He actually stated or gave information to the effect that the president definitely did have a meeting with these individuals in Trump Tower on the 25th floor in a conference room. And if that did happen, then he's saying that the whole event was unpatriotic. Now, if he said those things in the book, you could damn well bet that Mueller's going to want him to expand on those statements and comments in a forum where he's actually going to be under oath when he gives that testimony. So whatever comes out of that could definitely hurt the president, because this is as close as the investigation has got, second only to them actually sitting down and talking with Donald Trump.
All right. Lee Bonds, our political analyst, thanks so much for joining us, Lee. We bring you here every week to break down the latest in politics. Taking a quick break. We return, we'll sit down with representatives from the Department of Health to update us on the latest of their annual health report, Take Care New York 2020. That's coming up.